In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to set up a loan calculator in Excel. I've basically typed in the labels already, so I'm just going to create the loan calculator. I'm going to start in B2, and let's assume that we were going to be purchasing a car. And the car that we've been looking at is $20,000. Add that in. The down payment, let's assume that we're going to make a $1,000 down payment. The loan amount then, we're going to put a formula in. We want to use this to calculate different things. So I'm going to start my formula with equal. I'm going to click on B3, subtract, so the minus sign, B4, hit the enter key, and I would be financing $19,000 for this loan. Interest rates definitely vary from source to source. Let's just assume that the rate we were able to get for this car loan was 4%. I'm going to type in 4%. And the years, again, that kind of can differ too based on the length of the loan that you take out. Let's just assume that this loan was going to be for 5 years. So I'm entering in, some variables basically. The payment then, we're going to use, I'm going to go to the insert function dialog box, and I'm going to pull up my most recently used functions. Now I see the payment function here in my screen because I've used it previously or recently. If I click on the drop down arrow, if you don't see it in your insert function dialog box, payment function is under the financial category, and all of the different functions are in alphabetic order, so you could find the payment function in the financial list. Since mine's there, I'm just going to click on the payment, PMT, click OK, and I get my function dialog box opens up for me. Now there's basically 3 parts to the payment function that we're going to work with, the first three arguments. Each time you click in one of those different areas, you will get down at the bottom, it gives you a little bit of an overview of that particular argument of the function. And so the first part starts with the interest rate. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to click on the interest rate, and as the example says, it depends on the length of your loan, but I'm going to be financing for 5 years, making a payment every month for 5 years. So I'm going to take the interest rate divided by 12. I'm going to go down to the next argument of the formula. Now again, it gives you a little bit of a breakdown here to kind of help you if you can't remember. This is the total number of payments for the loan. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to click on F7, and so that's the length of the loan in years, but I'm going to multiply that times 12 because I'm going to be making 12 monthly payments. Now if you were making a quarterly payment on a loan, we'd be dividing by 12 and dividing by 4 when multiplying times 4. If you were making yearly payments, you wouldn't need to add anything extra. I'm going to go to the last argument of the function, and that's the present value of the actual loan. I'm going to press the minus sign. You can just kind of indicate that this is a negative. This is a loan that has to be paid back. So I'm going to add that to my function dialog box, and I'm going to click on B5, which is where the loan amount is. I'm going to click OK, and a payment for financing $19,000 for 4% for 5 years is going to be $349.91. I'm going to move on to the next cell then, and we'll figure out what the total cost of the loan is. I'm going to add a formula. I'm going to type the minus sign. I'm going to click on the payment amount. That's the monthly payment that I'm going to make. I'm going to multiply that times 5. Just think about that. We're making this payment for 5 years, and we also are making it, I'm going to multiply times 12, 5 years every month for 5 years. Hit the enter key, and we look at that, and that's the total cost for the loan. So we're going and asking or requesting financing of $19,000, but we're going to be paying back $20,994.84. So obviously there's some interest on that particular loan. I'm going to go to the last dialog box, and I'm going to press or click the equal sign, click on the total cost of the loan. I'm going to subtract B5, hit the enter key, and so the total cost for interest for this particular loan would be $1,994.84. Now this little calculator is pretty powerful in that I could look at this to decide, is that something I can afford? I would also look at the interest that I'm going to be paying for that. And a person could do a little bit of what if analysis. If we looked at that and thought that's a little bit higher than I want for my monthly payment, I could come up and I could say, well, what if I bought a $15,000 car? So I'm just going to change $19,000 to $15,000. And you'll notice what it does to your payment amount, and of course what it does to your interest. The other thing that a person could do is look at the years. You know, there's some flexibility possibly there in the payoff time for a loan. So maybe instead of 5 years, I'm going to change that to 4 years and just do a little bit of what if analysis. Now you'll notice that the payment did go up, but my interest that I'm paying on the loan would go down. So you've got a little pretty powerful tool that could be used to analyze different purchases when you are doing financing. We could do this for a house loan also, just basically plugging in the cost of the house, changing the interest rates, and of course the term of the loan would be different.